Okay, so a major military operation has just kicked off in the Middle East, and things are escalating fast. A joint US and Israeli force has started a massive series of strikes against Iran, and we're already seeing the ripple effects all across the globe. We're going to break down what's happening, why it's spreading so quickly, and what it all means.
From the White House, the official word is one of total confidence. President Trump has come out saying the U.S. will, quote, easily prevail, and even suggested the whole operation could be wrapped up in just 4 to 5 weeks.
But, what's being said officially and what's happening on the ground? Well, that seems to be a different story. This conflict is not staying contained. It's already spreading, and it's pulling in new countries and creating all sorts of new, unpredictable risks for the whole region. So, what exactly is this military action? The official name is Operation Epic Fury. It's a joint offensive led by the United States and Israel, and it has some very specific goals. The whole thing got the green light on Friday afternoon, and the Pentagon confirmed the president's order was short and to the point. Operation Epic Fury is approved. No aborts, good luck. So the initial thinking was this would be a conflict lasting weeks, not months. And the objectives laid out by the administration, they are incredibly ambitious. I mean, they're not just trying to weaken Iran's military. The goal is to completely dismantle it, take out all of its missiles, basically sink its entire navy, put a permanent end to its nuclear program, and cut off its ability to fund groups across the Middle East. The first wave of attacks was huge. It started with Tomahawk missiles to take out air defenses, and right after that, stealth bombers came in with bunker-busting bombs, hitting underground command centers. This was a classic decapitation strike, an attempt to cripple the regime by taking out its leadership. The timing was reportedly set to hit a meeting with Iran's supreme leader. And now, the U.S. is claiming that that one initial strike killed 49 senior Iranian leaders. But Iran didn't just sit back and take it. The response was immediate, and it was fierce. They launched a massive counterattack on multiple fronts, and they weren't just targeting military assets. They were going after key U.S. allies and interests. And their strategy seems pretty clear. Hit back everywhere. The U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia was targeted, the international airport in Kuwait was hit by a drone, and in a really tragic sign of just how chaotic this is, 3 U.S. fighter jets were actually shot down by friendly fire from Kuwaiti air defenses. At the same time, an Iranian missile managed to get through Israel's defenses, and it killed 9 civilians. So this is the really crucial thing to understand. This is no longer a contained, two-sided conflict between the U.S. and Iran. Not at all. It's spiraling into a complex regional war, and it's sucking in neighboring countries at a really alarming speed. And the targets are expanding well beyond military sites. We're now seeing attacks on major civilian centers. In Bahrain, drones hit residential apartment buildings. In Dubai, a global hub for business and tourism, iconic hotels and even the area around the world's tallest building came under fire. Major international airports are being attacked, causing chaos and mass flight cancellations. This situation has gotten so dangerous on the ground that the U.S. State Department has just taken the extraordinary step of telling American citizens to evacuate 14 different countries in the region. And that list includes key allies like Israel, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt. Because, it's easy to get caught up in the strategy and the geopolitics of all this, but there is a very real and very tragic human cost to this escalating violence. And it's affecting both soldiers and civilians. The numbers we have so far are pretty grim. At least 6 American service members have been killed. We know those 9 Israeli civilians died in that one missile strike. And inside Iran, there are some very disturbing reports that a girls' school was hit in the Allied strikes, causing dozens of civilian casualties. But of course, numbers don't tell the whole story. They can't really capture the fear. This is a quote from an American tourist named Sarah Metzi. She was in Dubai for her 20th wedding anniversary and found herself filming explosions from her hotel window. And her words, they just capture the terrifying reality for people caught in the middle. I just want to get home to kids. So, with the fighting spreading and the human toll rising, we have to look at the global fallout. The consequences of this war go far beyond the battlefield. They're actually threatening to hit the entire world economy. And at the very heart of that economic threat is one of the most important choke points on the entire planet, the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has now made a very direct threat, vowing to, quote, set fire to any ship that tries to pass through it. Now, to really understand why that threat is such a big deal, you only need to know one number, 20%. A full fifth of the entire world's oil supply has to pass through that one single narrow waterway.
Any disruption there sends immediate shockwaves around the globe.
And here's why this matters to you directly. There's a straight line from a conflict in the Strait of Hormuz to what you pay for gas. As a rule of thumb, for every $10 jump in the price of crude oil, the price of a gallon of gas in the US usually goes up by about 25 cents. The impact is direct, and it's fast. But just as the world is bracing for that economic shock, the message coming out of Washington is that this is far from over. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has warned that this conflict is actually about to get more intense, saying the hardest hits are yet to come from the U.S. military.
And all of this leaves us with a critical, unanswered question. You have an operation that was supposed to last a few weeks, now threatening to swallow up an entire region. You have Iran hitting back at civilian centers and threatening global trade. So, in a war that is spiraling and spreading this fast, what does the end even look like?